again!
Yes, people, another edition of Knightz to the Roundtable discussion where we discuss all sports all the time. Got my guys, the Truth, Tooth, and Mr. K.A. with me. How we doing, people?
Nice, man. What's up? What's up?
Good.
What's good?
Now, before we begin, make sure you like and subscribe on the channel. We want to get those views up. We want to get the P's. We want to be making money. We want to retire. We want to do all of that from this. But we're not going to waste any time. We're going to be talking about playoff talk, all things basketball today. We're going to start off with the LA Clippers versus the Denver Nuggets. Game 7. I can see the Truth nodding his head right now. He's I know he's sending for certain people.
Yeah.
But game did finish 104-89 to the Denver Nuggets. Came back from 3-1 down to win the series 4-3. Truth, I'm going to come to you first. What did you think about what happened in the game 7?
I thought exactly what I've been saying all year. Everyone kept on saying Clippers this, Clippers that. People started forgetting about basketball. Okay, you can't just throw a team together and say they're the favorites. Prove that you are the favorites. Throughout the whole season, regular season, postseason, they never once proved that they are here for the title. And they got what was coming to them. They got what was coming. There's too many agendas, people in the media talking about Kawhi is the new king. Kawhi is this. They've got the best two-way players in the game. They're unbeatable. No, they have to prove it. How dare they put Clippers as favorite when they've got Pandemic P in the team? Yeah? They've got Mr. Robot, aka Kawhi, who's never led a team in his life.
But that used to be the guy though, man.
I know he used to be my guy, but I know he's not a leader. They've got Lemon Pepper Lou, who wants to be in strip clubs instead of going to games. You know, they've got flipping I am your captain now, Pat Bev. I don't know. I never even heard him all season, all postseason. Where was Pat Bev? Oh, Pat Bev. All he did was laugh at Dame time, and then Dame time, and had the last laugh at the end of the day. I'm like, come on, guys. Look. My name is the Truth, and the truth will set you free. And it came out fine, and I was waiting for the time. I wish it was the final against the Lakers, but you know we can't all get what we want. But
hey, tell them, you want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
I'm telling you, a lot of people can handle it. A lot of people can handle it. And even still, people are saying that Lakers caught a break because they're not facing Clippers. Bro, at the end of the day, Clippers would have got swept. That's how come they would have got swept by Lakers.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
They would have got swept.
No.
They would have got swept by the Lakers.
No.
They would have got swept.
It would have been like 4-2 or something like
No.
that.
There was too much on the line for them to get swept out. It would have been a sweep.
Tell me what Pandemic P did against LeBron back in the East. Tell me what Pandemic P done against LeBron in the East. Most of the Clippers have never been past the second round. They've never been past the second round, and they want to go to a final. It's a different beast. In the Game 7, they couldn't hack it. Game 7, they couldn't hack it. Imagine a final. You think they had the conference final? They could have the Game 7 in the second round. Go,
Mr. K.A.
I just want to throw out a quick question. You don't have to answer it right now, but think about it. What do you think this loss does for Doc Rivers' legacy?
We're gonna get there.
Oh, okay. We're gonna talk about it. Okay.
We're gonna bring in Doc in all that.
Because a lot of people are talking about Kawhi, but Doc, he's got a lot of.
He's got a lot to answer for. But just to put the game in perspective, just in case no one hasn't seen it, it was 104-89. Kawhi dropped 14 points in 43 minutes. 1 for 11 in the fourth quarter. Paul George dropped 10 points in 38 minutes. Montrezl Harrell, who was a top scorer for the Clippers, dropped 20 points in 26 minutes. And Lemon Pepper Lou dropped 7 points in 25 minutes. That just puts in perspective what the shambles the Clippers were in comparison to the two main guys for the Denver Nuggets, who is the Joker, aka Jokic, who had 16 points, 22 rebounds, and 13 assists, and Jamal Murray that dropped 40 on Clippers side that was supposed to be the best defensive team, have the most depth.
Yep.
Obviously, Kawhi is renowned for being a defensive player.
All lies.
Pat Beverly is supposed to be this little pit bull, bruv. Man, looking
All
like a chihuahua out here.
All
You know what I mean?
lies.
And,
Louis Sixth Man of the Year.
Sixth Man of the year.
He had Sixth Man of the Year 2
Lou
years in a
Williams.
row. Lou Williams,
Wills.
whose primary thing is to score. That's his thing because he doesn't do anything else. So if he's not scoring, what is he doing? And it just puts into perspective the fact that the Clippers clearly just weren't ready. But I'm going to come to you, Mr. KA, and get your thoughts on the Nuggets. How do you think the Nuggets performed, being 3-1 down and coming back again for the second time to win a series 4-3?
Man, I thought they outdid themselves, man. They're a good team. They play team ball. They don't just rely. Even though Jamal Murray is their scorer, they've got players. They've got the experience in them with Millsap. They've got the Joker. They're a good team. I like them, man. They play team ball. They kind of like remind me of teams in the East, how they play. It's not just one superstar that just takes over. So I think they have a good chance to upset the Lakers. I don't think, when I say upset, I mean like win a couple games. I don't think they will beat them. I think the experience will prevail in the end, like we saw in game 1. But game 2 will be the real test for them. See how they respond. They've got a young team. See how they mentally prepare. Because Jokic allowed himself to kind of get bullied a little bit by Howard, and that's what he was there for. Just he was put in to disrupt Jokic. He just kept on putting bodies on him, rotating.
Like if you saw all of the regular season games, Lakers Nuggets, this is how all of them went. Apart from one with the Nuggets, one where LeBron wasn't playing, Nuggets lost 3 games to Lakers, and they all went like this. Jokic can't handle Dwight Howard, can't handle being marked by AD. They could chuck in JaVale McGee in there if they wanted. They're just too big and too strong. It's a bad matchup for them.
It's not just that as well. Jokic, he needs to. He seems like he needs to concentrate on one thing, whether he's going to be the attacking or playing offense, or playing defense. He can't sort of like.
Yeah,
it seems like if he's getting bullied, it kind of throws off his offense because he has he has to think about Howard. But Nuggets, they need Porter Jr. to score as well, because if Jokic is getting occupied, obviously Murray's going to get defenders on him. They need that third scorer to kind of contribute, because the Lakers are going to put bodies on Murray as well to stop him from shooting and taking over the game. So,
well, thanks for that preview, guys. I mean, we were going to talk about it a little bit later on, but you just went into it just like that. But if we could bring it back, because we haven't really finished with
there's more to say.
And Nuggets. But Truth, whose fault is it?
Okay, let's begin from the top. First of all, obviously, I do blame Doc more than anyone, because he is the manager of this team. He's the one that controls everything. He's the one that set the precedent of all the rubbish that happened this season, allowing Kawhi to load manage, allowing his team not to practice together many times. He doesn't change his strategy, as you saw, from the 7 games. And we have to remember, if Porzingis and Doncic were fit, I believe they would have lost the Mavericks. There's nothing that would have told me otherwise, because Mavericks pushed them all the way. I know it's game 6. They pushed them far without Porzingis in 2 games, and Doncic with a hurt ankle, and he still dropped 40 points in them. You know, he's still dropping 35, 40 points. So I believe they're fit. And the warning signs were there. So yeah, Doc takes a lot of the blame, but I also my main blame goes to the media and all the people that were hyping this team up, because they hyped them up to that level.
Call him.
Start to believe.
Call his name.
Yeah, they know what I'm talking about. Max Kellerman. Yeah, he's up there chatting crap about Kawhi's the new king. Kawhi's the new king after 1 year. How?
Are we talking about Skip as well?
Skip Bayless. But Skip Bayless is paid to be a hater of LeBron, so that's fine. But Max Kellerman is a flip-flopper. He will flip-flop every day of the week. One day he says, what's it, that Jordan, LeBron is king. And then all of a sudden, which surprised me, he came at that Kawhi's king. That surprised me out of nowhere. So all these guys that were bigging up Clippers for no reason, I blame all of them. They believed the hype, but the hype wasn't there. As I said, prove it. Prove it. The regular season is there for you to prove it. And I was saying all season, they had to prove it, and they did not prove it once to me that they were going to be champions.
Mr. K, obviously you know a little bit about PG-13 because he was at OKC with that stupid T-shirt you're wearing. But
I came for a training session. Got my training.
But is PG-13 becoming bad luck for people for teams? I mean, he was at Indiana, didn't do it there, and he was the main guy. At OKC, couldn't get it done there. Obviously, it's only one season with the Clippers, but he hasn't been able to get it done with the Clippers this season either. Is he becoming that bad luck, that juju, as people are starting to call him?
He's just not a superstar. Like, he cannot lead a team.
He's not a superstar?
He's a star. No, he's a star.
Okay,
and he's at the caliber of he's an all-star as well. But when it comes to the big games and that elite optimum performance, he's just not that guy. Like,
who are you talking about? LeBron?
No, Paul George.
Paul George.
Oh,
I actually get why.
LeBron.
No, Paul George.
But I was about to agree with everything you said, bro.
We'll get there too.
Hey.
Watch
your mouth, son.
As I was about to say, I actually understand why Skip Bayless calls Paul George in the playoffs George Paul. He turns into like his evil twin brother, like just like, like when there's pressure on him, he can't perform, and he needs that. Obviously, he had Kawhi next to him, but he needs that player. He needs at least one or two players next to him who can just sort of like score, who basically do all the stuff that he can't do. Because when the pressure's off in the All-Star game, this guy will be raining threes, he'll be doing all sorts. But then when it comes to the playoffs, he's non-existent. Like, he can't take over games for some reason in the playoffs, and I don't know what it is.
Well, I think that was summed up by that 3-point header he took in the corner.
Oh my days, man hit the back.
I told you, but when it's in the All-Star game, when it's for fun, he's raining them. Like. Or when playing for Team USA, he's raining threes because he doesn't matter. He's like got no pressure on him.
Yeah, exactly. But we're gonna come to. No, before that, I'm gonna ask one question before I move on to Doc Rivers. Out of all the players, does Kawhi have to take most responsibility for what happened in Game 7? Or is it a collective?
Hey, from what I saw, there was a lot of dodgy refereeing, bro. He was getting mad calls. Same with Joker as well, man. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
There were there's always, trust me, in these NBA, even yesterday in the Nuggets Lakers game, there's a few calls. But that's all part of the process. At the end of the day, basketball, the winners, it's not like football where a decision can turn a game. Basketball is a thing where it's consistent. So if you are the better team, you will win on the day, like regardless of.
Not all the time.
Nah,
that's why
I'm talking about. Okay, fine. I'm talking about 10%. There could be a call in a close game, but it wasn't a close game. That's the issue. It wasn't a close game.
Celtics, obviously, we're going to talk about it, but look at the Celtics Heat series.
Yeah,
Celtics are the better team, but Heat are stepping up.
But they're not the better team on the night, though. I'm talking about on the night, the better team will win, regardless of any referee call.
The Lakers, and they're always getting these dodgy calls against other teams.
Listen. We'll get to the Lakers.
I know. Don't worry about dodgy calls. Don't worry about dodgy calls.
Kawhi, he took all the glory in Toronto, so why can't he take all the burden of the loss?
Because he wasn't the talker in Toronto. He wasn't the guy. People went to him as the main guy, but he was not the one that galvanized the team. When you're thinking about Lowry was the one that galvanized the team.
No, but that's the difference though, because he wasn't the leader. He was the leader because he was the best player on the team. Lowry, he was just a talker because he embodied Toronto. He's been there for most of his career, so he's one of the leaders in that sense in the change room. But on the court, it was Kawhi's clutch plays that took him to the chip to win.
Yeah, because he was the best player. But as I said, there's a difference. Not everybody, even though you're the best player, you may not be the leader and the talker and someone that galvanized the team. I never ever thought of Kawhi as that person, even in Toronto. Even in Toronto, I never thought of him as that. He definitely wasn't that in Spurs. And you can see he's still not that in Clippers. So I can't put that pressure of him saying that, oh, he has to be that guy when he was never that guy. It's only the media that made him that guy. He was never that guy.
But there's different ways of being the leader, though. You can lead. You don't have to be a talker to be a leader.
All I'm gonna say is that Kawhi decided to make an advert, which is welcome to LA and the king little thing on the mirror and all sorts. So I'm sorry, you're basically saying you're coming.
That's just marketing, bro.
Of course, it's marketing, but you were sending shots against the guy that most people believe is the king.
I'm sorry, TJ, as a Lakers fan.
Listen, he couldn't do shit last year with that team by himself. He needs AD. Let's not even.
No, listen.
Let me ask you this, what is he a leader in other than, from what I'm seeing here, steals and assists? Man dropped 15 points last night. AD got 40, and he's crying about being MVP. Come on.
Don't worry, we'll get onto that, man. Stop skipping ahead, man.
We'll get to that.
But TJ, as a Lakers fan, though, I know you must have taken offense to that.
Oh yeah, of course.
Man's coming in from Clippers. Your younger, that's like a younger brother saying, "I'm king of this household." Man was coming in saying he's king. No.
Oh, listen, I love Kawhi, and everyone knows my opinion on LeBron, but as a Lakers fan, you can't be coming as the Clippers that's never made a conference finals and be trying to send for man, bro. It just makes no sense.
This is where you edit in like the Kawhi laugh on the conference.
I'm just like, nah, man. Like at the end of the day, I love Kawhi and I like the way how Kawhi plays, and I'm team Kawhi over LeBron, even though he's at the Lakers.
Whoa.
But at the same time, I'm just like, don't disrespect the Lakers. Like you lot, like get to a conference finals and actually win it first, and then you can start making your little adverts and your little this and your little that, bro. You lot ain't done nothing to be doing that. You know what I mean? Like win something, bro. Don't just like, oh yeah, we won the regular season mini little series and then call it that. Like, nah, it doesn't work that way. But on the final point on the Clippers before we do move on, Doc Rivers. You're going second, Truth, because we might be here for a while. But Mr. KA.
This is KA's boy, so let him see him.
It is your boy.
Rivers.
Doc Rivers. Mr. KA. One second, shit. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. There's my notes. Doc Rivers obviously has won one chip in his his coaching career. Interesting stat that I came across. He's the only coach that has blown the 3-1 league 3 times in his career. A series with Orlando when he was at Orlando against the Pistons, Clippers when he had CP3 and Blake Griffin against the Houston Rockets, and obviously what happened a couple of days ago against the Nuggets. Is Doc Rivers A, a fraud, and B, but answer B first, the biggest issue with what happened to the Clippers in this series?
Oh, sorry, I thought it was more to that question. I don't know. I wouldn't call him the biggest issue. I wouldn't say that.
Really?
Him. I think, again, he had enough talent on the field, so they had enough in them. They were up, 3-1 up, and they lost to the Nuggets.
Exactly.
So, yeah, okay. So he should have, you could argue he could manage the games better, but I can't remember how close each game was. So I can't say how in the sort of like the dying moments of the full quarter.
I think they blew. Was it in game 6? I think they blew what the
game 5. They blew a 15-point lead. Game 6, a 19-point lead, and last game they blew a 12-point lead. So,
See, the first two games, like the 12-point lead is not that big of a deal because that's like 4 3-pointers. You can
at
anyone
half time, when you got supposedly the best defense, you can't be blowing leads if you got the best defense. I don't care if it's a 1-point lead. you got the best defense apparently.
Everyone goes on runs in basketball. It's just about being able to stop them at the right time. So I wouldn't put all the blame on Doc. Like I go back to Kawhi, man, and then George Paul, man. I'll put more of the blame on them. So I think they should have done. And Paul George is actually a good defender. Well, like you said, as you said the truth, that they're supposed to be good defenders, supposedly. So like he's supposed to be a good defender. Kawhi was arguably the best two-way player in the league. So I put it on them. Like there's times when you've got the players out on the field or on the court or whatever, and as a coach, all you can do is put them out there and give them the instructions. And now it's on the players to dig deep and pull out those clutch plays. So I put it on the players more so than Doc. But
Truth, I know you. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm saying I know, but then Doc, of course, he takes blame because his overall career stats are not looking good, man, for his legacy. So I don't know. When you look back on paper, when you're looking back in history, you're gonna be like, wow, this guy blew all these 3-1 leads. This guy had a super team, and he only won once with the super team. So you could argue, man, he didn't do too well for his legacy here, man.
Truth, I know you completely disagree, so go for it.
As I said, look, the two main culprits, as I said, is the media and Doc Rivers. Okay, there's something called when you say something loud enough, it starts to become the truth, because a lot of people start hearing and it becomes the truth. And the same thing with the Doc Rivers. Everyone started saying that this guy is a legendary coach. Okay, he's MVP coach, but his stats are not the best. That one win with that Boston team, was it 2008? 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was 2008. Yeah.
Yeah, 2008. With that Boston team. Okay, well done. But we're talking about a big three that they had there. One of the first big three of this era in that time
And
there.
see how everyone gets onto LeBron about his big three. No one talks about the big.
This was the original big three.
I
and
do.
This was,
I do.
this is and they only won one chip with that big three that they had at that time, and they lost to the Lakers in the final in it.
And they were put together.
2010.
Yeah, and so even though he won, that was a disappointment. He then, as you said, you can't blow 3-1 leads, and the latest one, as we discussed, is the worst because he was ahead in all of those games. And this is the thing, Nuggets are a good side, but let's be real, Jokic is an all-star. Murray has only just come up this year. Michael Porter Jr. this year. Millsap, while good, while experienced, he's just a placeholder. There, you would say that overall, Clippers are the better side. So there's no way you should let 3-1 leads. That has to come down to the coach. You have to say in the middle of somewhere, it happens once. Okay, let's change things up. Okay, we're ahead this time. Let's not take our foot on the gas. How are you going to take your foot off the gas 3 times in a row, and especially in Game 7? That's all down to the coach. I can't blame the players because these guys, it's unlike football. These guys are playing chess out there. They're always talking. They're always going to position. They're always running plays. The timeouts are there for a reason. These guys are playing chess, and the coach has a lot of impact, more than football. So, as I said, a lot of the blame comes to Doc Rivers. His legacy has been hit by this. If he doesn't do anything next year, I don't want to hear Doc Rivers again being in the same class as my boy Greg Popo. Yeah, no one put him in that category. Why were people putting Doc Rivers in the same category as Popovich? How dare they?
I don't know.
I thought you were
How
going to say
dare
Phil
they?
Jackson, you know, when you said my
Don't
boy.
even listen. Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson is another stratosphere, bro.
Exactly. These guys are another stratosphere. Don't. There
That's
are
what I
people
was
putting
going to
Doc
say.
Rivers in that category. And I was thinking, why? Why are people putting Doc Rivers in that category? What has he
Eric,
done to
Eric
be in that
Spoelstra's
category?
won more chips than
I
Doc
like
Rivers, bro.
Spoelstra, man. He's a good man. He's a good
He's
manager.
a, he's a, he's a,
So,
he's a good coach.
so yeah, Doc has to take it. Yeah, and this is the thing, and this is what I want these guys to do. Kawhi, Doc, the media, take it all on the chin. Let them come back next season and improve. No more hype. Let them prove that they are the number one team. Let Kawhi prove he's the number one. Let Doc prove that he's a capable manager, a capable coach of the team, and let them go and win the chip normally. Don't put this fake pressure on them. Just let them go out and do it.
I think what changes do you think they need to make to the team though? Because
No changes. If they keep that
no
team together,
changes.
that team is capable. That team is capable of winning a chip. I'm sorry. You got Kawhi. You got Paul George. You got 2 6 men. You got I would probably change Pat Bev because they need.
No, they need
For
Pat
me,
Bev.
they need someone more mobile. But then they can't really. They traded all their stuff to OKC.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I was just thinking about like how they would have to blow up their team if they want to go and get a decent player. So they're forced to go with the same team again.
Yeah,
Maybe
they do need
change
more
a few
height.
role players, but yeah,
They do need more height.
That's it, man. And Zubac ain't it really? Is it Zubac there?
Yeah,
no,
Zubac's
he's
the
not.
center.
Zubac? Yeah,
He's 7 foot, but he's not mobile.
No, he's not, man.
Well, yeah, just to wrap up, should Doc be given his P45?
He's staying on apparently. I think they confirmed that he's staying on for the second year. At the moment, there's no one else out there for them to really go and get.
Ty
go get D'Antoni. Oh man, you see them getting pumped first round.
Don't
small ball.
Don't get me started on D'Antoni, bro. You're just gonna upset me. That's the only reason why I was happy Lakers won, bro. Say bye to him and James Harden.
Hey, Ty Lue's good. Ty Lue's not a bad shout, but I think they're gonna keep. They keep with Doc. Ty Lue's a good tactician. More so to me than Doc.
He's not a champion. I don't know if he's ready for that championship run.
He's done it once. He could be able to do it again. Yeah, and we are going to move on now to Lakers versus Nuggets. Game 1 happened the other night, 126-114. AD dropping 37 points, 10 rebounds. LeBron dropping 15 points, 12 assists. And even Contavious Caldwell-Pope popping up with 18 points. Murray and Jokic combined for 21. Truth, I'm going to come to you.
Nah, sorry, man. I was going to say, where's the shout out for Superman, Dwight Howard himself, man?
Oh, even Dwight dropped 13 and looked like he was rolling back the years as well. I apologize.
He gave Lakers that spark.
Yeah, he did, to be fair. He was getting in there. But Truth, I'm going to come to you first. Obviously, we've seen the Nuggets have lost both their game ones in the previous 2 series. But was there a difference in the performance from the Lakers compared to the Clippers and the Utah Jazz?
With Jazz, as I said, Nuggets are a better team than Jazz. So I expected Nuggets to eventually overcome Jazz. I didn't expect them to overcome Clippers, but, Clippers had loads of faults. But the matchups did help them. No one on the Clippers could stop Jokic. No one on the Clippers could stop him. He was just too big. He was running plays with ease. The difference is with Lakers, it's a bad matchup. They've got too many big men in there. Too many big men. Dwight is more. We saw what Dwight did to Jokic yesterday. You saw what he did in the paint. I think there was one shot. I think AD shot from outside, and Dwight and Jokic were going at it at the bottom. Jokic didn't want any part of Superman. He didn't want any part. He got beat up in there, and I think it's not going to go well for Jokic's confidence. What happened to them in that game 1? Murray's always still a threat. I think he's good in the perimeter, but Lakers, I just think at the moment they've got the best answers for most things. They've got answers for 3-point shooters. Their perimeter defense has improved. Their inside game is unbeatable. There's too many big men in there. And I've said it all along. If AD plays, no one's got an answer for AD because he can do it all. He can drive. He can shoot. He can shoot the mid range. If you want, he's got about what 30, 32, 35, about 3-point range. Ain't bad. You know, he can do it also. If he
You
plays,
put the ball on the floor as well.
yeah, ball on the floor, he could do it all, and there's no answer. And I've always said, if he plays, that's it. And LeBron knows that. That's why LeBron didn't even get out of Gear 1 yesterday. He was just going through the motions because AD popped off, and they have no answer for AD. So, yeah, I don't. If this goes more than 5, I'll be shocked, and I think that Nuggets would probably deserve the chip because I think Lakers are that step ahead of them right now. So yeah, I don't see this going more than 5 for me.
Mr. K, what do you believe that the Nuggets can do differently to try and combat what the Lakers have, especially as the truth said, inside when you've got those trees of Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, obviously AD as well. And then on the perimeter, you've got LeBron. Obviously, AD can guard the perimeter when Jokic wants to pull up. What can the Nuggets do differently against the Lakers to try and get a result?
Well, it's going to be hard because I agree with a lot of what the truth was saying. I think they should just keep doing what they've been doing all season, keep playing that team ball. And Porter Jr. needs to step up, as I said earlier on in the preview. They need a third scorer because Jokic is too occupied in the middle because Lakers have just thrown too many bodies on him. And Jamal Murray is they're gonna find a way to minimize his game. So he needs help. He needs Porter to step up. He needs Millsap to bring that experience and be clutch because he's been clutch before in the past. Bring that experience and just sort of give the Lakers more to think about because they went in with a game plan and they're going to try and repeat that game plan again, Lakers in game 2, and just sort of like dominate. It's like what they did with the Rockets. Once they saw that they could bully the Rockets, they just kept on doing it and it was over from then. So they need to respond in game 2 and show that they can fight with the Lakers and that they're up for it. They're a young team, and so just don't get bullied. Don't lose that psychological warfare as well. That's a big part of the game.
You know what they need to not do? They can't go down double digits because Lakers are a team that, because they know they're always going to be thinking ahead. They're not going to be casual like Jazz and Clippers were. As soon as they're up double digits, Lakers are going to just slow the game down and make sure that, you know, even if Nuggets get bucket, it's slow. They're going to take all of the time shot clock up, all the 24 seconds. They're going to take that all up, slow down the game, and that slows down a lot of momentum. And that's just the difference between Clippers and Lakers. Lakers, if you see Lakers, they never have blowouts. They never go blowouts like 130, 140, 150, because they take a lot of seconds on the shot clock. If you see a lot of the shot clock time, they go all the way up to the last few seconds, unless they're on doing a fast break. And
that's
it takes a lot of time.
Though.
I know it takes a lot of time. So Nuggets have to stay in the game, as in they can't go more down double digits. Not to Lakers.
Well, Lakers have that. Sorry to interrupt, TJ. Lakers have that experience. They know how to control the game, as you were just saying. They've got Rondo, who we haven't mentioned.
Playoff Rondo.
Playoff Rondo. Hey, tell Pandemic P that's what you do, yeah? Don't create a nickname for yourself. Let people create the nickname for you. Flipping Playoff P.
So they've got Rondo and they've got LeBron. They've got 2 experienced guys who know how to control the game. So as you said, if they take that lead, they'll control the game to the end and just facilitate and pick the right moments to take the right shot, to make the right pass. So it's important. But it's gonna be hard because Nuggets haven't got any real like known defender that's shut down. I don't know who's their guy who's like obviously like Clippers. You can talk about Pat Bev, you can talk about Kawhi as their shutdown defenders, but who can you say that for?
Yeah, they got no real dogs to tell the truth.
No, they don't. I think Nuggets game is based on team ball, and they have to do everything as a team. I don't think they haven't got anyone to stop AD. No, they haven't got anyone to stop LeBron. and the trees in the center, they haven't got no one to stop those guys either. So I think that they're gonna have to try and do things as a collective, try and take advantage when LeBron and AD are on the court, and try and take advantage in that sense of what's going on. Or else, realistically, I can't see it going past 6. I think it will be a 4-2. I think they definitely have to win game 2.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think that's what did they? Did they go 2-0 down to the Jazz?
No, was it 2-0 down?
I think they
Yeah,
did.
they did. Yeah,
They went 2-0 down to the Jazz, but they came
Yeah.
back. But going 2-0 down to the Lakers is a completely different animal.
Yeah.
Not saying that the Nuggets can't, because at the end of the day they've done it twice before. But I think going 2-0 down against this experienced Lakers side, with the fact that you've already played 7 games in each series, like it's gonna take its toll on Jamal Murray. It's gonna take its toll on Jokic, and Jokic has something to prove because he got bullied in game 1, and I think his best asset is to pull up from 3 and not go anywhere near the paint.
No, he's a good passer. He's a good passer.
Oh yeah, and assisting as well. But
he's
the
good
thing
in
is,
the pick
because
and roll, he's really good.
But because
you can't do the pick and roll even. He can't even do the pick and roll because he's not gonna.
Good.
He's not gonna bully AD and.
Oh, you're talking about specifically for this game?
Yeah.
It won't work. Oh, I thought you were talking about
the pick and roll just won't work. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough for them.
It's going to be tough for them, but we'll see what happens in game 2. Game 2, I believe, is tomorrow evening. I think at some medieval time. That we will be.
You put us over here in the UK.
We won't. Two of us won't be watching, but 2 of us probably will.
Maybe.
We are going to move on to a series. I think we call this the series of the unexpected to a certain extent. I mean, well, not so much the Celtics, but definitely the Heat. But yeah, Heat versus Celtics. Heat 2-0 up in the series. I don't think anyone expected the Heat to be there in the conference finals, but they've shown up. Butler, Dragic, Robinson, Adebayo. Was it Chowder or Crowder? Jay Crowder.
Tyler Hero, bro. How you forget
Tyler Hero? Wait, hold on. I didn't finish going through my list.
Tyler Hero's been balling out. Oh my god.
But they are 2-0 up in the series. Obviously, game one, absolute madness from that Bam Adebayo. I thought it was some UFC thing where he broke his arm. That was game 1.
Game 1.
Game 1 that went into OT like that because Tatum thought he scored.
Yeah.
Tatum thought, I've won it.
The ball was in the net.
And Bam Adebayo just said, hold that. And just said, nope, not going in there. And game 2 was a little bit more straightforward in terms of we didn't have the drama that we had in game 1. But just talking about this series, Mr. K, I'm going to come to you first. How impressed have you been with the Miami Heat, not just in this series, but overall, considering that they had the Bucks to go through as well? It was them, right? That had the Bucks in it. Yeah. The Bucks to go through as well. How impressed have you been with Miami Heat and what Spoelstra and obviously Butler as the leader, what they've done so far?
I've been very impressed with them. They've actually probably been the best team in the bubble since the bubble was created, and they've all come back. They've probably been the best team. They've they've won 10 games in a row. And that's including their playoff run, if I'm not mistaken.
The 10-1, yeah.
It's ridiculous. I was quite surprised of to be honest, I wasn't really paying attention to them, but obviously as they started going on this run, I started to take more notice, and then they go and beat the Bucks with the MVP, the current 2-time MVP. So in Giannis. So no, I was pretty surprised. And with Butler, I've been surprised with him. Maybe he's found his place because he's been around the league. He's been played on the West Coast, East Coast, and he's been at some good teams where they should have made some deep runs. Like with Philly, he should have done something with that team. So Butler in this position of Miami Heat as the leader and with a young team, I was surprised that he's sort of being like leader, like having like you hear about them talking about they're all friends. Like when they talk about in interviews, like they go out to eat together and lunch, and they actually enjoy each other's company. Because you hear stories about how at some points Kobe and Shaq didn't like each other, where teammates don't like each other, but they know how to play together and let talent prevail. But I'm hearing how that they are a team, they're all friends, like they're one big happy family. So I'm pretty impressed by them. Like they've got shooters, they've got everything, and like people are forgetting. I don't know if people are talking about Spoelstra as well, but he is a championship winning coach. So I'm not surprised when you actually think about it. Yeah, it actually, I'm surprised. Like on the surface, you're like, oh wow, he are doing this. They can get to the final, but then when you actually take a step back and then look at the makeup of their team, I'm not as surprised as I was when you first look at the results and you watch the games. In terms of this playoff series, I think Celtics have kind of shot themselves in the foot a couple of times in clutch moments where they should have done a lot better. But no, he has really impressed me. So to answer your question, man, they're doing really well, man. Butler doing amazing as a leader. Tyler Hero and Dragon. You can't forget about the Dragon as well, man. He's unsung hero as well.
Rolling back the years.
Rolling back the years. 34, isn't it?
Yeah, he's 34, bruv.
Yeah, he's made some big shots.
Yeah, like, big shots. He's clutch at the moment
in this game. Yeah, and everyone's talking about obviously Bam with his defense, talking about Tyler Hero and Robertson with their timely 3-pointers. Butler as the leader. But I haven't heard Jokic's name being talked about as much, but he's definitely unsung hero.
I know he's been top scoring like
the last 2 games.
Yeah.
The last 2 games he's been top scorers. He's got top scorer.
Yeah, but I haven't really heard much about him. It's all
it's
But I'm very impressed with the Miami Heat. I don't think anyone expected them to be here, obviously kicking out the Bucks. Obviously Giannis did have a few injuries, but even I don't think we can use Giannis' injuries as an excuse, because I think the Heat proved that they were looking good even when he was balling out. Yeah. But Truth, what do you think about the Celtics? What are the Celtics? I think we can leave game one. Game one goes into OT. I mean, that madness, everyone, Tatum 40 scored, and then Bam took it out. But what is it that the Celtics are missing as to why they can't seem to get over the line against the Miami Heat?
Everyone actually said that this was a bad matchup for the Heat, which I still believe is true, because if you see them from both games, the issue is that Celtics have let their inexperience fully come, which is, you know what, they shouldn't even be inexperienced. This is the third time in 4 years. Third time in 4 years they've been in the Eastern Conference Final, but they're still a young team. But they have let leads drop. I think it's both times they led by 15 or 16.
Yeah, they led by a significant amount.
Yeah, and they've let leads drop. So the fact that they're the better team is still there, but they just let it drop. And especially last game, I think turnovers was a huge point. They've turned off the ball like 20-something times, in the games, and they need to just in this time in finals, all that stuff has to drop. You can't be doing that kind of stuff. That needs to leave. And they're just showing their inexperience a bit. And Heat just looked like this, happy to be there. They're playing carefree. They're happy. Everyone's fighting. They're all battling, and you can tell pressure is getting to the Celtics. And pressure is a killer. We saw what pressure did to Clippers. For this young team like the Celtics, pressure is weighing heavy on them. They have to just let it go. They have to understand that they are the better team. They are in control of the game, and I do slightly expect the Celtics to come back and come out of it. Even though I have been really impressed with the Heat, I have been really impressed with them. I do expect the Celtics, because I think the Celtics do have a better team. They're so much deeper. They're so much deeper.
Do you think that...
sorry to just tag on to that so much deeper comment as well. There's a potential for Gordon Hayward to come back as well for this series. Potential. So,
Hayward's a strange one, because just because of his injury record, it's just like he's not consistent enough for me to be like, yeah, Hayward's definitely going to come back and they're going to win. He's too injury prone right now for me to rely on Hayward. But the joke is when he does come back, he takes a long time to get back up to speed. So he's not someone that I'd rely on. But obviously their first five, you know, they go very deep, and you know, when they put it together, stop the carelessness, I think they'll come back and finish the job.
Do you think that Celtics are too carefree in the paint? Because I think, if I remember correctly, seeing on game 2, I think the Miami Heat, it wasn't the 3-pointers that got them back into the game and allowed them to win it. It was in the paint where they were getting a lot of points because the Celtics centers are not the best.
Yeah, Cantor
and
Smart.
Cantor, we've even hardly seen Cantor. They've been playing Olenek and
Olenek,
Theis, or how you pronounce his name.
Yeah, Theis. I've actually had a friend that's actually said this to me during the season, that he's worried about the center, and if they are to get to the final, that's an area they need to improve, because if it is Lakers in the final, I think just not improve tactics wise, you know, being a lot more aggressive in that paint. They're not aggressive. Like, they're so soft in the paint. They're so soft.
Yeah.
You can't be letting Heat, you know, dominate you in the paint. Apart from Adebayo, you can't be letting Heat dominate you in the paint like they were doing. You know, Jimmy's got free run in the paint. Jimmy's not even the biggest guy.
That's
got
their
free
weak
run.
spot, though, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know if they can do anything at the moment, right now.
Just another point, Mr. KA. How much pressure? Well, we know there's pressure because Celtics are now 2-0 down, and Game 3 is tonight. How much pressure is on Jason Tatum now being the superstar of that team, to, not saying he hasn't performed, but to perform so that his team wins Game 3?
Oh, that's a tough one, man. I don't know if obviously there will be pressure on him because, as I said earlier, he's the best. As I was saying about Kawhi being a better player, the pressure's going to fall on you. But I don't think pressure should go on them because they've got like so many good players. They've got a good starting 5 and players come off the bench, as the Chief was saying about how deep they are. You got players like Jaylen Brown needs to do more. You got Marcus Smart needs to do more.
Smart's been balling though. To be fair,
I
think he's been performing better than people would have expected him to.
Yeah, I think Kemba's got more. I think Kemba's got more of a got more stuff to prove than Tatum.
Yeah,
For me, Kemba has to go out and take the game. I think Kemba's your Kawhi. You need to go out there and take the game to Heat. I think if Kemba plays to his level, plays to the level that we know he can do, I think it's a game for them.
But I think Kemba has, at Charlotte, he's never been at teams where they go deep in the playoffs. Yeah. He hasn't got that experience to take over a game.
That's true.
Like when they had, I'll say Kawhi. When they had Kyrie, he can take over a game. But Kemba can't. I don't know if Kemba can take over a game. Like in the fourth quarter in overtime.
Yeah.
He wasn't really. He's a few turnovers he had, and like
he went missing. He went missing.
Yeah, he wasn't really clutch at all.
Tatum showed up. That's what disappointed for me actually. That Tatum actually took charge instead of Kemba, which wasn't happening in the regular season. But
the thing is, I don't think Tatum is that player that needs to or should. I'm not sure if he needs to or he should be the one to be taken over. I think if he just plays his game, because he's good. If he plays his game, then and everyone's doing what they should do around him, they will win. If that makes sense. I don't know. He's not really a player. His style of game, I think if he does too much, then he gets in his own head when he starts missing and stuff like that. So I think he should allow him to play his other game. The other players need to step up. Like I said, Jaylen Brown, Smart needs to be that X factor, get everyone going. Like he needs to get that hustle on because he's allowing Robertson, Hero, Dragic to dominate him. Yeah, to dominate him.
And just on the final point of Heat versus Celtic, Truth, going to come to you. I think you already said it, but who wins the series and what will the final outcome be?
I said I expect Celtic with their team. They should be too strong. They've been in charge of both games and they play it slip. if they just, buckle down and be like, look, we can't be letting them slip to take over the game. They're the better side. They know the better side. All of their stars need to perform because it's final time. You can't be having one person perform because he or a team. One superstar cannot be a team. We know that for sure now. Yeah, one superstar cannot be a team. The whole team needs to perform. So I do expect Celtic to come back, and I'm saying Celtic in 7.
Mr. KA?
No, I agree. Celtic to win.
Shout out Zeno here, innit? I forgot Zeno's a Boston fan.
No, I like Boston, man, as a team. I like them as a team as well, man.
And I want that Celtic Lakers final.
I want that as well. I don't know if I've said it before, but I like that. I want that as well.
I'm gonna go against the both of you. I think the Heat are gonna win it in 6. Ooh. Personally, I think they're on too much of a run, and I think the Celtics got too much of a soft belly to do in the center. I think so. I think tonight I think Celtics will win Game 3, but I think they have to. But I think at the same time, I think that Heat will come out in 6 and win the series. Win the series 4-2. But yes, that is Heat versus Celtics, which is on tonight. Don't know what time because I don't stay up until those medieval times.
It'll be early. It'll be like around 11 o'clock UK time. 11 midnight.
Yeah, it's still early.
That's
still
early
late.
for us.
It's still late. But final topic of discussion as we do playoff talk. Well, it's not really playoff talk because this is about the regular season. The Greek Freak winning MVP for the regular season. I haven't got the official stats, but I think LeBron only got like 12% of the vote or something like that.
Yeah,
something mad like that.
Yeah.
Truth. We're talking about regular season here, not playoffs. Is it deserved?
You talking me?
You.
Oh
no! I thought you said tooth.
Yeah.
I said truth. No, I said truth.
Hey,
you said tooth.
I know Tooth has something to say because I know he's been looking at the stats. I know he's got. So just wait. Listen, we hear me talk and I'll let you talk afterwards.
I'm gonna come. I know.
I'm gonna come to him. Look. Let's be real. LeBron, when he was in the East, got vilified for playing in the easy East, despite his numbers. He could have won MVP how many times? 4 or 5 times playing East, but everyone said, "Oh, it's the East. It's easy." It mostly went so. That's why it went to other people in the West. Now he's in the West. Now he's beating the teams. Clippers twice. He beat Bucks. He beat Nuggets 3 times. Beat everybody. Yeah, beat everyone in the harder West. And he can't get. Not only that, he can't get more votes than 16. More than 16 out of 101, you can't get more votes. And this is the thing now. I've come to the realization that when it comes to regular season, is it just stats? Or is it the best player in the regular season? Because for me, if you're looking at the best player in the regular season, you're looking for LeBron having a new team, which is very hard, leading that new team. I know people say he has AD. Yes, he does have AD. But to lead that team to be number 1 in the West takes more work than what Giannis had to do in the East. Tooth, prove me wrong. I know you got something to say.
Hey, listen. I've just been doing research on the MMA, bro, because it's about to start in 10 minutes. So I've been putting my bets down. But all up, my attention just switched to like you talking about LeBron being this and LeBron being that. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Listen, last year my man couldn't do fuck all with that team. If anyone should be MVP, it should be AD, bro. Do you know what I mean? He's not leading nothing. What the fuck is he leading in the
What do you mean he's not leading?
He ain't leading shit.
It's more than just to be leading stat. You don't have to just be stat merchant.
But my man is dropping 40.
And who's giving him the 40? You think AD? You think AD is just suddenly having a ball in his hand? He's doing like some instant translocation of balls appear in his hand and he's shooting. AD is not the ball handler.
Listen, I get they're trying to shove LeBron down our throats, bro. I get that.
For a reason, he's a GOAT.
He's set up for LeBron to get ready.
Hey.
So he's a GOAT. That's why.
Decisions are going. Listen. I get all the decisions are going LeBron's way, so he could get a ring. Do you know what I mean? With all these dodgy calls for everything.
Deserved. Finally.
But, let's keep it real, bro. Without AD on that team, bro, the Lakers wouldn't even be this far in the fucking playoffs, bro.
Of course, look, I agree. I agree. But every team needs stars. I'm sorry.
They might as well change the name of the fucking playoffs to the LeBron Invitational.
He is the face of the NBA. What do you expect? It's like Hamilton is the face of F1.
They done the same with Jordan, bruv. They done the same with
of course,
Jordan.
Yeah.
I mean, they done the same with him. But my man was leading in points, assists, defense, everything. You name it, he was leading, bruv.
He
was not leading in assists. He was not leading in rebounds. He was leading in points. I don't even know if he was leading in steals. I don't know if he was leading in steals. I mean, we're talking
about Giannis and LeBron here.
They're saying
listen, we need to reshoot the whole GOAT debate on a different day.
Yeah, no, we will. But look,
that on a different day. But
in terms of this, as I said, I'm sorry. For me, LeBron had more of an impact in Lakers being the top team in the West, which is harder, as everyone says it's harder than Giannis in the East. And what I believe the MVP award should come down to now is the postseason, because it's like the postseason doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's not included.
It's like in anything, like even in the finals MVP, the postseason doesn't matter. Like I'm talking about just playoffs. I know finals is it's its own thingy, but just in playoffs, I think the regular season MVP has to be voted after the playoffs, so people can see. Because for me, the last 3 years, last 4 years, Giannis twice, Harden, Westbrook, all of those 4 guys have been bounced early. So what's the point of your regular season MVP?
I think that's what Max Kellerman's been saying. He said that it's pointless.
Yeah, you're just stacking numbers. You're just stacking numbers. What's the point? You're just stacking up. Anyone could stack numbers. They're just stacking numbers.
I think Westbrook's one was deserved because he was like...
Barely knows anything about boxing.
But KA, let me get your thoughts. Giannis, deserved or not?
Sorry, I just got...
Hey, someone get my brother a fucking cappuccino or a decaf, something.
Now he's distracted.
Sorry, I got distracted. I thought I saw someone as bad as St. Maxwell on my screen there. Yeah, no, about Giannis.
Bro, be careful, bro. You're in the scope, Mr. Africa. I'm telling you.
We're talking about basketball here, innit, Giannis? I don't know, man. It's a tough one because during the regular season, there's that old argument of like 82 games. How much does the regular season matter? Because so I get the truth point where he talks about the playoffs should be included because when you're playing against the lower league, the Washingtons and like other teams, and you're just dominating where you could just muscle through and go to the paint and be
exactly
padding your stats. Sorry, just looking like a monster in the paint, which he is, but I don't think it's deserved. I think LeBron should have got it. I think what we've seen from LeBron is that he but he's helped impact the team in terms of where they started and where they are now. At the start of the season, nobody was saying that Lakers were favorites. I think we discussed it at the start of the season as well. Remember we were saying, even you didn't think that Lakers would even make it this far.
Facts. I don't think they'll win it. But now I'm like, you know what? It's set up for LeBron to win it. So fucking, you might as well just give him the ring. But for real, I agree.
Bypassing that. So the way they've come from the start to now has been a lot to do with the team dynamic, and they've evolved and gone a team. Bucks have not evolved since last year. In fact, they've gone backwards.
Problem.
They've gone backwards. And I'm not blaming Giannis for that, but he's part of that team. So him getting those stats doesn't mean much. LeBron getting his stats, now you know they've meant something because they've helped them get to the conference finals. Giannis with those stats doesn't mean anything because they got bounced in the first round. How can you get bounced in the first round, 4-1, second round, 4-1 was it or 4-0? Was it a sweep?
4-1, 4-1.
4-1 in it, yeah, because I know, yeah.
Yeah, because Chris Middleton turned up in the fourth game.
Yeah, so as I said, MVP. If it's just based on stats, yes, Giannis deserves it. I don't believe it should be based on stats. I believe there's other factors that need to be involved. And if those other factors were involved, then LeBron should and would have won it.
But the thing is, as well, I'm going to quickly mention, I understand why LeBron was also pissed that he got 16 votes. Because I think when it comes to the MVP voting, there's a lot of agenda. There's a lot of
of course,
it depends on the storylines, on what people's opinion has been throughout the year. Because, it's the media that vote for the MVP. It's the people. It's people within the association that vote as well. But it's most of it. The majority are media elites, media people who.
So MVP at the end of the day, all of the MVP awards don't mean much at the end of the day. When it comes down to it, I think we've actually put too much stoke into the MVP awards when it's voted by people that have agendas. For example, I wish Rash was here, but I remember when Kawhi won it in 2014. And if any of you remember, I remember TJ, me and you were watching at that time. You would have never said Kawhi. Yes, he played good D on LeBron. But how dare you ignore Manu, Parker, Tim. Like what they've done in that whole run,
I think that was purely based on the fact that LeBron was in his prime and Kawhi managed to basically tame him. It's the same thing that's why Iggy got it for the Golden State.
Are you talking about finals MVP or regular season MVP?
Finals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all done on storylines and opinions. There's a lot of intangibles involved in voting for MVP.
Yeah, but this was I don't want to give it should be a bit more like football, where this season you cannot argue that KDB deserved to win, Player of the Season. You can't argue. You should have a regular stat with saying yes, you got the best stats this season. So Giannis would have got best stats, a separate award for that. But MVP needs to be the best player. The MVP needs to be, who are you going to pick this year who is the first name on your sheet? From this season. And for me, you'll pick LeBron for me. So what do you think, TJ? You haven't mentioned what you thought. I know.
He wants to say LeBron. He was, but he can't bring
himself. I know he wants to say LeBron.
He can't bring himself to say it.
You know what? You're on the internet now, yeah. So you have to be careful. You're a Lakers fan that rock that purple. No matter who is on their team, it could be the devil himself. If the devil was wearing purple and gold, everyone would be supporting. You Lakers fans would be supporting the devil. So you better be careful what you're saying.
Look, at the end of the day, it is regular season.
Yeah.
Based on the 82 games, I can't disagree with Giannis deserving it. Based on what he's done, obviously 29.6 points, all the rest of the stats, and the fact that he's improved in terms of his 3-pointers as well, which people were basically saying that he did need to improve on. His team had the best record in the NBA. I know it's in the weaker Eastern Conference as well, where they play the majority of their games. But in terms of the it wasn't 82, but whatever it was, 70 or whatever it was.
71. I think.
Yeah,
71,
I can't argue with Giannis getting it. At the same time, I completely understand why people will give it to LeBron. because of
God, you know
where.
what we're thinking now? CJ's just playing the fence so bruv. He's making sure the needle doesn't move either side, bro. I love it. Sorry, TJ, but I just smiling. I was smiling. We're like, bruv, we know what's coming. But as soon as this Zoom call goes offline, bruv, God, you can tell us. You can tell us the truth.
No, I'm being serious. I can see why people wanted to give it to LeBron purely because of where the team. Obviously, at the end of the day, 10 years since we've been in the conference finals. Obviously, it's not all down to LeBron, but he's had a big impact on what we're doing, even in the regular season, finishing first. I mean, you can kind of debate it because of the load management from the Clippers and all the rest of it, but that's their beef. At the end of the day, they know that there's only one team in LA. But yeah, I can understand why people wanted to give it to LeBron, what he's done, all the assists, that fact that he's gone from playing for small forward to playing, what do they call it now, point forward, or whatever they call it now. So yeah. I get it, but either or doesn't really bother me because I don't take regular season MVP seriously either, to be honest. Okay, for me, it's all about chips and what you do in the finals and getting there. And LeBron's in the conference finals. We'll see if he can get to the NBA finals. And Giannis got bounced in the second round again. Last time it was by the Raptors. This time it was by Miami Heat, and it was more convincing by the Miami Heat. So it is what it is. But yeah, I don't have an issue with it being given to Giannis, but I completely understand why Truth and KA, why you lot believe that LeBron should have gotten it, and I can't disagree with that either. But that's enough of me trying to hold myself from saying what I really want to say. Yeah. But yes, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Hold up. I know it's late, guys, but this is the main crunch what we wanted to discuss about. I think you're forgetting it.
What?
I'm just gonna say the statement. Clippers losing to Nuggets was the biggest choke in basketball history, bar none. Bigger than the bronze choke.
No.
Bigger than the bronze choke in 2011. Bigger than the choke.
No. Against Dirk Nowitzki. No, I'm not having it.
Look. Dirk Nowitzki was a tried and tested battle thing than the Nuggets. Nuggets.
What do you say, Coach? KA?
I said the Mavericks back then were better than the Nuggets now.
Yes.
What, with Dirk on his own?
Come on. Do you think the Dallas Mavericks reached the finals sweeping your Lakers? Sweeping your Lakers.
It was a bad
sweeping your Lakers. Beating the up and coming OKC. Okay, the up and coming
OKC team was.
That's why I said up and coming.
I just want to say this to all our audience. It's late. Some of these boys haven't slept for days. You know, they're watching NBA till like every fucking day. So just forgive them, all right? They're just a little bit discombobulated. So, you know what I mean? We can't even reply to that statement, bro.
So you're saying the Mavericks who reached the Western Conference Final, who swept the two-time champions.
I'm not even talking about, but he had Dwayne Wade on his team. And who was the other?
And Bosch. That was supposed to be the big three.
Exactly.
Supposed to be the big three.
The big three compared to the long team of the Clippers.
What are we sleeping on?
The Clippers was a two-headed monster. Everyone knew that. It's just that they had parts that would help facilitate that.
A long team.
And we know Kawhi at this level that he is now still is only about 50% of what LeBron was. And even though D Wade was on the decline, his decline didn't start until the second season when they actually won the chip. So D Wade still considered one of the best. Chris Bosh, you lot know my thoughts on Chris Bosh. But unfortunately, everyone else says it was a big three.
It was a big three. It was a big three.
Hold on, first question before we Ray went there after that season, innit?
Yeah, Ray hit the shot.
Ray went there after because obviously against the San Antonio Spurs. But even still, you had that three-headed monster against Dirk. I know you lot want to bring in Jason Kidd, I know you want to
Like,
bring
you're
in Jason
sleeping on, you're
Kidd.
He
sleeping
was
on
he was
that.
38. He was
I'm looking
38,
at-
but he
I'm
was
looking at
having
the
a
team now,
season.
yeah?
Man said he was doing. Bro, he learned from Derek Fisher, bro.
Right, like Fisher.
I'm looking at their team now, yeah. They had
Yeah,
Dirk
tell us.
I know
Nowitzki,
they had
they
a
had
decent
Jason
team.
Terry, they had the
Yeah.
Jason
Jason
Terry.
Terry was like 76 years old.
Wow, they had. He was good. He was a big time player.
Yeah, you gotta say an age that then when Tim Duncan at 38 still won a chip in 2014. No one was talking about his age. He was 38 in
Different position,
2014.
Different
Let's
position.
continue.
And Duncan's level, Duncan's lucky he stayed at a decent level higher than these two, Jason Terry and Jason Kidd, bruv. Come on,
They
man.
had Sean Marion.
Sean Marion, are you joking? Marion, are you
They had Sean Marion.
I didn't even need to respond to that.
You
Yeah,
man,
Sean
seriously
Marion.
need to take a nap. Just take a nap.
They had Stokovic. Yeah, you're forgetting.
Yeah, go on.
They had,
Let him finish.
they had Peja Stokovic. Oh, if I pronounce his name wrong, sorry, I forget that. No, you're forgetting.
You should know him too.
Yeah, Stojakovic, bro. Get it right.
Stojakovic, that's it. Sorry, they had Tyson Chandler when he was younger and fitter.
Exactly.
You mean that Chicago Bulls reject?
No. Stop talking about. Stop talking. I know he's had loads of bad years, but we're talking about the Tyson Chandler back
of
then.
Dallas. Yes, he was playing. He was a really important cog in that team at that time. That was like his best season of his career.
I'll bring up the Miami team.
Look, we know about the Miami team.
We're not comparing the Miami team.
How is that not a bigger choke,
We're not
bro?
comparing.
You know
We're
what
not
I mean? You
comparing the
guys,
Miami team.
Bro,
We're comparing the team that they faced.
I get what you lot are saying in terms of because it was a conference semi-final from Kawhi, and it wasn't an NBA finals, right? And it wasn't an NBA finals. But I'm sorry, nobody on this planet believed that the Mavericks stood a chance against that Miami Heat team. Nobody. People were polishing the rings before.
Unfairly so. If you reach the finals, I'm not talking about conference finals. If you reach the finals, you deserve to be. And we're not talking about the Mavericks like they were the 6th seed or the 7th seed. They were joint 2nd seed, only losing out to Lakers on the thingy, on what do you call it? On the specific, on the what do you call it? What do you call it? They got the conference, and then within the conference you have you're split into different. So you split into different zones, and if you win that zone, you get higher. But they had the same win, same loss. They had the same win-loss record. Okay, Mavericks and Lakers. So you're not talking about Mavericks are some dead team. Yes, they were unfairly said they were. I remember that season, Heat never had a great start. Heat were awful at the start. They were still working out the kinks in that team.
Yeah, there's a lot of teething problems.
They were still but they still remember. It was a final. Yes, LeBron choked. No one's saying it wasn't a choke. But this choke right here, by the Clippers in a second round playoff, not even reaching the final, is the biggest choke in NBA history. Only because of the media. Not anyone else, the media.
But the media knew. But hold on, but the media was ready to give LeBron the ring before the series even started against the Mavericks. So it was the same concept. Even more so because it was like, bro, it was one of them ones where, like, right, fair enough. With the Clippers, we didn't expect them to lose. No one expected them to lose. But bro, people were going on like all Miami Heat had to do was turn up, and they were just gonna sweep the Mavericks, bro. That's how much.
Yeah,
but that's stupid though. That's ridiculous. It's a final. We have seen worse things happen in finals. You know, we've seen worse things happen in finals. If the finals, the teams that deserve to be there deserve to be there. Mavericks were
worse final than that, bruv.
But it was like, okay, fine. It was 4-2. LeBron never gave up 3 double-digit leads.
Ooh.
3 double-digit leads.
But LeBron never gave up the basketball. LeBron did not want the basketball in that Mavericks series, bro.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. LeBron, remember, fine. This was LeBron before he knew how to win. Okay? Kawhi knows how to win, and he still lost. LeBron didn't know how to win back then. He had to go to Big Brother. Big Brother told him, boom, since then, he's been the king. Kawhi has won 2 championships. 2. He had 3 double-digit leads and up 3-1. You can't lose. Losing 3-1 is the biggest embarrassment. People still talk about Cleveland and Golden State. People still talk about that. You can't lose 3-1. But that's losing 3-1 to Cleveland. And that's losing 3-1 to LeBron.
And also,
you cannot lose 3-1 to a guy called Joker, fam. You can't lose 3-1 to a guy called Joker. I don't care.
It was Doc Rivers' fault, innit?
That Dallas team, yeah. Remember they swept your Lakers that season.
That's what I said.
We had a bad year.
You keep on ignoring that.
Hold on. We had a bad year. We were going through things.
But you had legends in that team, man. You had
I remember.
Fisher was. Don't mention
Fisher.
Fisher was 76.
Nessa World Peace.
You just need some sleep, bro. I swear to God, you man need.
Dallas swept the GOAT at the time. At that time, Kobe was the GOAT. They swept the GOAT. Just keep that in mind. Yeah?
Bro, it was Kobe by himself with a fucking a bunch of injuries.
On that team.
Hold on, wait, yeah, that's it. No, I was just about to bring that up. Kobe, hold on.
I know they had injuries.
Yeah. Kobe single-handedly, apart from when Derek Fisher shot that shot, yeah, he was playing for that injury for the whole of the second half of the season.
I know.
Carried us to victory against the Celtics. Eventually, it was going to catch up to him, bruv. And you know that Kobe's leg was hanging off. His leg was hanging off because after that season, man had all the surgery and stuff, and that was it for him. Like even he thought his career was over after that, so that was gonna catch up to him. So Mavericks sweeping us wasn't a shock because Kobe couldn't do anything. But the fact that they went into that series and basically said to LeBron, "You're nobody." Right? This was the guy that from 16 has been on the front cover of, what is it, Essence magazine and all the rest of it.
No, man didn't say Time magazine or anything. Man did Essence.
Yeah.
He could have said at least GQ or something.
And you had D Wade who had 2 chips. Was it 2? 2 chips, isn't it?
It was one.
One chip with Shaq, right? And you had Chris Bosh as well. That team should have never been beaten 4-2.
Of course.
And that is why it's the biggest choke because LeBron didn't even want the basketball. He was there passing it to anybody. If he could have passed it into the crowd, he would have passed it.
He wanted no smoke, bruv. A man like Berbatov Dirk Nowitzki handed him that L, bruv. Lifelong L.
Look, at the end of the day, though, at the end of the day, you could happily.
What sums it up here is that I think eventually everyone, if this Nuggets team stays together, I think everyone expects them to actually win a chip, bruv. Bruv, Dirk Nowitzki would have been fine going through the championship with no chip, bruv.
Exactly.
He actually celebrated like to say he won the national lottery, winning that chip, bruv. And don't even mention Jason Terry, KA.
Dak.
The Jet, bruv.
Dak is a legend, okay? Dak is a legend. But and Dak was a legend back then. Who's a legend in that Nuggets team now? Who's a legend?
But they were young. They're still young. They're still young.
Exactly.
They're still young.
Exactly. We're talking about 2 30-year-olds in their prime. Okay, going out no matter what you say, going out in the second round is worse than going out in the final. I'd rather choke in a final than choke in the second round.
Well, you guys know he's talking sense, man.
I know. Don't tell me you rather lose in a quarterfinal than lose in a final. You wouldn't. Get to the final at least. At least you can say at the end of the day, at least I got to the final. Whereas if Nuggets don't even go out and win, what are you gonna say? You lost to who? At least you can say you lost to Dirk. You know, LeBron can say, yeah, we lost to a legend. Dirk is a legend.
But like Jason Kidd. Listen, you say Sean Marion one more time.
This is how you know they're polishing a turd and trying to serve it to us, bro.
Man like Peja, bro. JJ Barrera, bro.
Who?
JJ, but he was the original. Oh, what's that? Oh, I've forgotten this guy's name.
Exactly. You don't even know,
No,
bro.
no, no. I'm talking about
Listen,
the.
No, he's describing
Yeah,
it to someone
he was
else.
JJ Barrett was the original JJ Reddick, bro.
Bruv, that's what I was about to say. Are you talking about JJ Reddick, bruv? Because that white boy could fucking score 3-pointers, bro.
That's what JJ Barrett was to that Dallas team.
But bro, LeBron. Yeah, are we gonna go through this again, bro? Wait.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
LeBron before he could win.
Man talking
LeBron
about
before he could win.
Bruv,
He's been Tyson Chandler in his prime, man.
Tyson Chandler, bro.
In
Listen,
his prime.
Listen, on that note, people, right? Because like we're not gonna get anywhere with this, right?
I prove my point. The internet knows. The internet knows that we've won.
And the fact that KA is bringing up Sean Marion and JJ Barrera and Jason Terry, like I know you lot ain't here for that. I'm not here for that either.
I've said my point. So
Come on, man.
We always appreciate the debate. We love the debate. We love the banter. It's always all good with us, and there will be much more. We will be reshooting the GOAT debate. It will go again, and you lot.
I'm not even here for that, man. The nonsense you are talking now, you're going to talk about
shut up, because
I'm
we
not here
actually
for it, man.
destroyed you in that GOAT debate.
I'm
bro.
not here for that, bro.
You lot didn't even get your point across, bro.
I'm not even
you
here
don't even
for
get
it,
your
man.
point across, bro. I should put that up there just to embarrass
Hey,
you.
look, you better do that GOAT debate before LeBron gets his 4th ring, because boy, after that 4th ring, it's over.
What do you mean it's over?
Done.
Jordan still got 6.
Done. I don't
Jordan
care.
still got 6. Oh, get out of here, man.
Do you know what? These man need some. Hey, bro, these man need some sleep. Do you know they're jet lagged? Like, give them some NyQuil.
3 rings with 3 different sides. First man in history. Say something.
Giving him this ring. They've already polished it for him.
Hey, I don't care if you have to face the freaking G League. Give me the chips. I don't care. I want the chips.
That's what happened with Michael anyway. He faced G League farmers, bro, and he got the chips. So,
Second part-timers. All workers by buying the YMCA.
Hold on. All the legends that
wrap it up.
You're not even gonna upset me. You're not even gonna upset. But yeah, see, this is just like but people, this is just a taste.
My man's talking about Sean Marion, who shoots the ball like. My man's talking about Sean Marion, bro.
Sean Marion at the Suns, mate. You know, he had that balling, man.
But yes, people, that's just a little taste of what the GOAT debate is gonna be like. But yes, join us next week. We got UFC coming up. We got Premier League return after City play their game on Monday as well. We're going to be talking all of that. Got boxing coming up as well with White and Povetkin 2. AJ's got a fight. Wilder's got a fight. Fury's got a fight. There's so much content coming. But tune in, guys. Tune in. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you like and subscribe. Send it to your cousins,
down below
mums.
as well on what you think about Sean Marion.
Yep, share it with your cousins, mum, sheeps, dogs, cats, auntie. Do all of that. Comment below, and let's get this thing popping, man. Let's get this thing going.
Tell them that they're sleeping on Sean Marion. And
listen. Anyway,
comment down below and let them know.
Peace out.
Listen. I want to say thank you to my guys, The Truth, Mr. K8, and Sooth. Thank you very much, gents. All right, people. Thank you very much. Peace.